I didn't pay full price when I flew United Polaris, or when I flew American Flagship Business, or when I flew ANA Business Class, or when I flew Thai Business Class, or when I flew Egypt Air Business Class, or when I flew Egypt Air Business Class again. Ever since I started curating my social media to make it seem like I'm a never-at-home, world-class jet setter, I've been bombarded with questions like, well, today's the day I finally pull back the curtain on my crazy luxury travel life. So my wonderful mom and brother are driving me to the airport right now since I spent the night at my parents' house last night. Before 2019, I had never really flown abroad at all. And summer of 2021, last summer, is really when I started all this travel. And I kind of cheated. I got an amazing internship at American Airlines, which meant that I could fly for free whenever I want, wherever I wanted, as long as it was on American and as long as I was back for work on Monday. So I think I took like over 30 flights in the 2 or 3 months of that internship. I went to Europe 3 times, and that was all basically free. So that kind of got me hooked. And then from there, I needed to find a way to keep up that lifestyle. So I forgot my backpack, and my dad has had to come meet us to give it back to me. Wow, this is bad. So when I didn't have the flight privileges anymore because I lost them at the internship, that's when I had to start working the credit card points and miles game. So my first credit card, which should never be your first, was the Amex Platinum. And that's what started it all. Layover in Detroit. The name of the game with these credit cards is transferring points. That's, if you want it all in one sentence, it's transfer points. There's lots of other perks like the lounges and everything like that, which I'll get into. But at the end of the day, how you're going to get on these great business class flights is not through getting an airline credit card usually. It's through getting an Amex or a Chase or a Capital One or a Citi card, racking up those points, and then transferring them to an airline when you find a really good deal with the airline. And that's basically what I do. That's what's enabled me to fly business class all over the world. It's what's enabling me to do some very exciting flights in the next couple of months. And it's become kind of my main hobby. So of course I'll go into some more detail about which cards I specifically have, how I earn all these points, like do you have to spend a ton of money, and then like what I pay in credit card fees and whether it's worth it or not. The notebook idea was taking too long and it was not going to work very well, so I'll just say these warnings out loud. Most importantly, for any credit card you have, pay off your credit card in full every month. That's the biggest thing. There's a reason these credit card companies can afford to pay for first class flights for you, and it's that people don't pay their balances and then they accrue crippling debt. So pay off your balance in full every month. Don't get a card that you're not going to use. Don't get a card just for the bonus. There's different schools of thought on this, but my personal philosophy is don't get a card unless you're going to keep it and continue to use it even after the bonus. So don't get an Alaska Airlines credit card if you never fly Alaska just because they have a good bonus, or even an Amex card. Don't get the Amex Platinum if you don't travel that much because it's just a travel card. Make sure, so usually with these big sign-up bonuses, there's a minimum spend that you have to hit, like $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 in 3 or 4 or 5 months. make sure that's something you can hit without spending beyond your budget. It's good to open a new credit card around when you have a big purchase coming up because that can help you hit the minimum spend, but don't get a card with a big fancy bonus and then be stuck having to either spend more money than you would like to or not get the big bonus. This is a little bit more niche, but Chase credit cards, even like hotel credit cards that are offered by Chase, they have a rule called 5/24, which means that they will automatically decline you for a credit card if you have opened 5 or more credit cards in the last 24 months. So if you want to get a Chase card, make sure that you get your Chase cards first, because if you get a bunch of other credit cards over a course of 2 years, then you'll automatically get declined if you want to apply for a Chase card until you're under 5 credit cards in the past 24 months. And then I just want to reiterate, you want to get transferable points because those are way more valuable than points with a specific airline or hotel, because you're stuck with that airline or that hotel. If you have Amex, Chase, Capital One, Citi points, you can transfer those to an airline and it offers much more flexibility. I also want to point out that this travel is not all completely free. You're always going to also have taxes and fees that get tacked on to the points bookings. And traveling is just expensive because you have to pay for food, you have to pay for lodging unless you're booking it with points, but it's harder to book hotels with points than it is flights. And so I do really love to travel and I do spend money. It's not all completely free. I spend some of my savings on this. So how I earn points is there are 3 big categories. There's the big sign-up bonuses, there's the everyday spend, and so I try to optimize my cards in my wallet for what I spend my money on. And then there are promotions like offers that you can get, or I use Rakuten a lot, which is a cashback portal, but you can actually earn Amex points instead of cashback. So there are other promotions and referral bonuses and stuff like that that you can augment your everyday earnings and the big bonuses with. So that's how I earn my points. I'll do a more specific video about what's in my wallet and what I pay in fees, and then I think I'll do another video about covering every single flight I've taken in the past 2 or 3 years and exactly how I've booked it with points and whatnot, and then what I've paid in fees for the flights. And there are people who do this in much more detail and much better than I can lay it out. So I'll list some of them in the description who I would definitely recommend you checking out to learn more about the points and miles thing. But this is just supposed to be a high-level overview since so many people are curious and because it is a wonderful, wonderful world. I'll leave you with a dire warning though. Once you've traveled in luxury, it's pretty hard to go back to economy.